Have you ever launched a new book, a program, a event that you were hosting, and you put your heart and soul into this, and you are expecting your friends and family to really support you? But after you advertise that the book, the event, the program is starting, is released, people can buy it, they can support it, your friends and family, they don't show up for you like you expected, and you feel devastated. Well, if that's something that you are feeling right now, sister, you are not by yourself. I've definitely been here before, which is why we're talking today about how your friends and your family are not necessarily your clients. This is the topic today for our Sister Start Your Ministry Hour. I am your host and your coach for today, and we gather together every week, Sundays at 6:30 p.m. Central, for this hour dedicated to helping women just like you to answer the calling that God has on your life, to build a transformative ministry and kingdom business that goes beyond the walls of the church. Now, this hour is actually named after my book, Sister Start Your Ministry, which is in the background here. So, sisters, if you have not gotten a copy of that book yet, you're missing out. And you can get that at sisterstartyourministry.com. At this website, in addition to my book, there's some other great tools that you can use there. And there's a free ministry launch starter kit that you can download. It's a digital PDF that shows you how to organize your ministry, how to get your ministry or kingdom business plan together, and has a number of tools to help you to make sure that that vision that God has given you is sustainable. So be sure to visit that site for more information. Now, one thing I always love to do is welcome first timers. So if you're a first timer, welcome, sis. I am glad that you are here. And I want to invite you to subscribe so you never miss an episode. I'm always putting content out throughout the week. But in addition to that, first timers, we want to show you some love. So let us know you're a first timer. And we always do roll call in the comments where you let me know your name and what city you're representing. Okay, so even if you're watching a replay and you're first timer, we want to know you're here too. Okay, so we already have some women checking in for us. We have Leslie in the house today. Leslie, thank you for being here, sister. We're so glad you're watching. We have Dr. Arlene representing the MD. We have Diana here from Orlando, Florida. She's one of our regulars. I just so appreciate you all. We have Marvin, okay, from Texas. Hey, good to see you. Oh, Coach Carmen, you were with me on Thursday. Oh, it's so good to see you, Coach Carmen. Thank you for being here. You're representing the DMV in the house. Okay, and this is Jarrell from Texas. Okay, all right. From Jarrell, Texas. Okay, got you, Marvin. Sorry, got you. Got it together. Okay, we have Rhonda. Hey, Rhonda. Hey, sister. She's representing Florida. I know where she is from. All right, we have Jackie from New York. Awesome. You're welcome, Coach Carmen. Reverend Carmen, that is. Okay, we have, is it Courtier from Texas? Hey, Courtney, I didn't recognize your handle. Hey, Courtney, this is my sister who works with us. Good to see you. Continue to put your names in the chat as you are checking in so that I can be sure to recognize you. Okay, so today's lesson is from a familiar passage in the Bible. This is our foundational scripture from today. It's coming out of Mark 6, 1 through 6. Now, in this passage of the Bible, Jesus returns to his hometown and begins teaching in the synagogues. And at first, the people are amazed by what he's teaching. But then after a while, they start questioning him because they know him. They're familiar with him. And they basically start saying things to the effect of, isn't this a carpenter? Isn't this Mary's son? Don't we know his brothers and his sisters? Because they're familiar with him and they're struggling in their mind to really appreciate and to even comprehend the greatness of Jesus and who he is. And so in this scripture, eventually we get to Mark 6:4. Where Jesus says, a prophet is not without honor except in his own town, among his relative, and in his home, is in his own home. So this is something where Jesus is essentially saying, like, what's going on here? A prophet is not honored in his own hometown. And I think about this. How many of you have ever felt this way before when it comes to being recognized by the people in your congregation, in your home? How many of you have ever felt like, man, people are just looking at me like, oh, that's just Carmen, even though you Reverend Carmen, or that's just Courtney, or that's just Dr. Arlene. We're familiar. They're familiar with you, and so they don't recognize the growth that has happened over the years, the time that you've invested in becoming an expert in your field. How many of you have ever felt like your friends, family, church home, they become a little too familiar with you? Talk back to me in the comments, because this is like not a rhetorical question. And welcome, Reverend Beverly. I see you. Okay, Coach Carmen says, so true. Okay. I don't know if it's just me and Coach Carmen, but if anybody else has felt that way, let me know. Now, this is sometimes going to be very disappointing, because there's moments in which we have like a new program, a project, something that we're trying to do, something that literally could help our own church home. Like, we know it can help them, but they might not feel like, oh, this is not a good fit, or maybe they'll let you do it, but they kind of minimize it. Or maybe it's our friends and family who they're just so familiar with us that they're really not taking what we're doing seriously. They're thinking about the older version of you and not the evolved version of you. They're thinking about the younger version of you and not what God is actually anointing you to do in this season. And this leaves us very disappointed, because in certain moments our minds are like, well, of course my family's going to support my book launch. It could be your church family. It could be your friend group. Of course, they're going to support this program. Of course, they're going to show up for this event. And sometimes friends do. But we have to understand that relying on just our friend group alone to support what God is calling us to do can set us up for disappointment. And quite frankly, our friend group is not our assignment. You have to understand that, yes, they're your friends. They can show up. They can maybe like, they can subscribe. They might buy your book or your product just out of support one time. But I want you to be thinking about, who are the people, Carmen? Who are the people, Reverend Beverly? Who are the people, Marvin? Who are the people, Diana, who are actually my assignment? And oftentimes that goes well beyond the people who are already in our immediate circle. Are you all following me here? I see some things in the chat. Okay, see thumbs up. Exactly feeling what you said. Okay, true. Okay. Amen. Sometimes siblings. Okay. All right. So I appreciate you all following along here, because this is an important concept before we talk about tactics that's really going to help us to be able to expand beyond our friend group when it comes to whatever God is calling us to do in our lives. Now, the first secret that I'm going to cover today with you, that's very important to move beyond just our friends supporting us to us being out there to reach other people beyond our existing network, is becoming findable. It's important that people are able to find us who are our assignment. And this is something in the day of digital presence. Most of us, if we admit when we're searching for certain things, and you all can put in the comments, how do you typically search to find resources? You know, back in the day, my mom is 80 years old. So when she is finding researchers, you know, she still has a phone book. I said, Mama, we don't use phone books anymore. But she's 80. That's how she would search for things. But now, how do we typically search for resources when it comes to like who we're going to work with? When we have a problem, where do we go? Okay, I'm seeing Wikipedia online. Okay, yep, that's online. Google. What else? Where else will you search to find people when it comes to like resources that you're looking for? Okay, definitely Google. Sometimes you're going to search. Some people use social media. Some people will use their AI of choice, like ChatGPT, Gemini. But all of these are under one umbrella of online. Most people nowadays, they search online. Yep, using AI web scrape. Exactly. Exactly. And welcome, Rosie. Good to see you. Thank you for being here. So we understand that most people nowadays, they use online mechanisms to find resources. Now, what does this mean for you? If people are no longer, for the most part, using a phone book, and yes, people sometimes ask word of mouth, but I'm not saying one of the primary place that people are going to look when it comes to finding a resource when they're up in the middle of the night and they're looking for help is going to be online. So if you don't have a digital presence, if you don't have a way for someone to search for you and your name pop up on Google, your name pops up in ChatGPT, your name pops up on Gemini, your name pops up as a referral on Amazon, then the people who are your assignment, who you're best suited to serve, aren't going to be able to find you. Now, this is something that I've seen happen. I can't tell you how many times before. There was this one woman who I had, connected with briefly online. She is an author, amazing author, and I actually wanted to follow up with her to see if we could collaborate together. And when I searched on her, under her name, and I tried finding her books on Amazon. I found her books on Amazon, but I could not find any information on Amazon about how to get in contact with her. I couldn't find any information on Google about how to reach her. It was no digital footprint there. And I was thinking, I'm like, man, this sister's missing out on potential clients. Because most of us, if we have a book, typically we also have other things that we want people to know about. But do you make it difficult? Do you make it difficult for people to get in touch with you? Do you make it difficult for people to know who you are? I remember there was this one sister who joined my high ticket mastermind program, and she was referred to me by someone else. And the first thing that she did when she was referred to me by someone else was she Googled me. All she knew was my name, Rev Jocelyn. That's all she knew. And she Googled to see, who is this Rev Jocelyn person? Can I trust her? Like, what's her deal? Before I even consider having a conversation. And when she Googled me, she was able to find tons and tons and tons of information about who I am to verify that I'm legit. In a world where people are skeptical because spam is out of control. How many of us know spam is out of control? There's a lot of scams out there. People want to be able to check to see who you are, what you're about before they engage. So let's ask ourselves, and I want you all to just kind of be honest with yourselves in the comments, like, are you findable online? And if you are you making it easy for people to get in contact with you? Talk back to me. I want everybody to respond to this question if you're watching live or even the replay, because this is important. You want to be findable by your person. Now, I'm giving you a sneak preview. I'm just letting you all know I'm going to actually have a live that's committed to helping you with getting a digital presence. So we're going to be covering that in a couple weeks. So when you all see that come up, you're going to want to be here for a part 2 on this subject. But I at least wanted to touch on this to kind of get your wheels turning on, hey, it's important for you to be findable. Dr. Arlene says yes. Okay, so Dr. Arlene, when you're searchable, that's great. Who else feels like you have a solid digital presence online? Let me know in the comments. Or if there's room for improvement, be honest with that about that as well. Okay, so sometimes people get in touch with you through your children. That's great. That's great. That's a good way. But digital presence, that's something I want you to find, because that's going to expand your reach. And anybody who wants to have a national presence, how many of you want to have a national presence with what you're doing? If you want to have a national presence, then definitely you have to be searchable online. Okay, I appreciate you being honest, not solid, but you're going to get there. You're going to get there, Tasha. All right, Rhonda, definitely room for improvement. Thank you. Okay, got some, Jacqueline. Good to see you this past Thursday, Jacqueline. Thank you for being with us at the webinar. Rhonda, yep, national. That's right. Rhonda's one of my members, and she showed up on Thursday as well. A lot of you all did. Shout outs to all of you who were with me last Thursday. Yep, needs improvement. Yes. Okay. All right. I appreciate you all for your honesty there. Okay. So we touched on secret number 1. Now, secret number 2. Now, this is where some of you all are actually shining. Secret number 2 is building a referral ecosystem. Right now, someone said in the comments earlier that his children refer. That's amazing. That's awesome, Marvin. So you got that down, Marvin. Now let's look at what some other things we can do for referral systems, because here's the thing. Sometimes when it comes to our efforts, let me actually change this. Sometimes when we get a referral, it's like a blessing. It's like one of those things where, someone gives us a referral and we're like, thank you, Jesus, for the referral, right? We're grateful for the referral, but it's not intentional. It's just like, oh, I got a blessing. Thank you, Jesus. But what would happen if you actually built out an intentional referral system? What would that look like if you had an intentional referral pipeline where it wasn't just like, oh, every once in a while, but you set things up in a way where people actually know how to refer you and refer you intentionally? Now, this is where your friends can come in, because sometimes we ask our friends, like, hey, can you support me? And like, your friends, again, might not actually be your target avatar. That's another fancy way of saying your target client or the people who are your assignment. Sometimes your friends aren't that. But can you teach your friends how to properly refer you? How many of you have like your coaches, or you have a program, you have something that you're launching, and you are looking for additional clients? All right, I'm assuming most of you here have something that you're doing. Now, if you have something that's going on that you need support, the second question is, does your friends fully know how they can support you? And don't take this answer for granted. Sometimes we say, of course my friends know. But your friends have their own lives, their own challenges, their own things that they're dealing with, and they might have like a overarching idea, but you're not necessarily top of mind. So have you thought about like reaching out to your friends and saying, hey, like, I just want to make sure you fully know like what I do, and how you can possibly support is by giving me this type of referral. Not taking that for granted. Letting people know how they can support, and understanding that you also want to be very referable by being clear on what you offer. This is something that we kind of touched base on this past Thursday at the webinar I led, because sometimes we're not clear. Our messaging is all over the place, so it's hard for people to refer because they're not necessarily clear on what we're doing. All right. Hey, Michelle. Hey, good to see you, Coach Michelle. I see you, sister. Marvin says we have possible hundreds to thousands of contacts in our contacts and don't fully utilize them. Come on, Marvin. You right about that. Dr. Arlene said yes. So looking at how we can have a referral pipeline in place is something that is critical. All right, because referrals is one of the best ways to market. How many of us know that we have gone to restaurants, we have checked out movies, we've checked out books from a referral quicker than anything, like on a billboard, right? Like referrals make a difference. So what's your referral model? And are you referable? Are people clear about what you do, why you do, and why people should be referred to you? All right. Dr. Arlene says, yes, but vaguely sometimes. Okay. You know, hey, we're work in progress, but we're working on it nonetheless. All right. So secret number 3. Build a path from stranger to client. Now, once again, I touched on this past Thursday at the webinar that many of you showed up to. Again, I'm grateful for those who attended, but this is something that's by design. There is going to be a time in which someone comes across your amazing LinkedIn post, your YouTube post, your Instagram post, Facebook, whatever you do to market. They might find you on the website, but you have to have a client journey intentionally built out with the end in mind. You want to be thinking about, okay, at the end of the day, I want to be able to support this person in this way. So, for example, I'm gonna grab my book. Many of you, hopefully you have this book, but if you don't, this is a good model for what I'm telling any author to do. In my book, it's not just the fact that it's a book on how to start your ministry. It is one of the early stage processes for someone in my client journey. All right. So I want someone who happens to be searching on Amazon on how to build their ministry, how to build their kingdom business to come across my book. But I don't want their journey with me to end there. Okay. So what do I do? On the very front of this book, I have what is considered a lead magnet. I have a lead magnet here where I'm telling people, hey, go to sisterstartyourministry.com. And y'all know every episode here, I'm telling people to go to sisterstartyourministry.com because I want them to download my Ministry Launch Starter Kit so they can be on my email list, so that I can connect with them and they can learn more and eventually learn about all of my amazing services. So if I just were to publish my book by itself, that would be short-sighted, nearsighted, that is, because if I didn't have a way for somebody to go beyond just the book in my client journey to learn about me, to then figure out other ways they can learn from me, then their correspondence with me would have just ended with a great book versus knowing we have lives, we have webinars, we have trainings, we have a coaching program. None of that would happen if I didn't have a way to move them from book to being on my email list to spending more time with me. Did you all get something from that pro tip? All right, because this is something that, oh, you, Diane thought this was a picture background. That is too funny. No, this is a real background. None of this is like virtual here. Yes, the book. But did you all get something from this pro tip? Because sometimes we're underutilizing our assets that we have, and we don't have a way to move people through our client journey. These are things that are important. We build with the end in mind. I want you all to put that in the chat. Build with the end in mind. Okay, so we covered quite a few things. I'm going to recap our main points here to make sure that you're clear. Okay, so step number 1 is, can people find me? Step number 2 is, can people refer me? Step number 3 is, is there a path built out for people to move from even knowing I exist to actually being able to work with me? Okay, so, all right, good. Okay, love the lead magnet at the front of the book. Yes, Reverend Carmen. Good. Coach Carmen. All right, okay. But yes, build with the end in mind. All right, so here's the thing. I'm very excited to go deeper in some of these concepts. Like, you all know that the weekly lives that I do is just like the icing on the cake for what I teach for those who I work with more intimately. And I really want to dive deeper into some of these concepts to get you results, to help you to build out, particularly my coaches. If any of you are a coach, I want to know in the comments. I know Reverend Carmen's a coach. I know Dr. Michelle's a coach. I know that Dr. Arlene's a coach. Who are my coaches here watching live, even in the replay? All right, I want to know, because I want to spend some time with you in the next few weeks to really help you build this out. Now, I've done different events in the past, but this one I honestly can say I'm the most excited about. because I have put some of my best work into this upcoming event that's going to support you. Okay, so what is happening is on September 14th through the 17th, we are hosting a 4-day virtual challenge. Now, it's during the day, but I literally plan it at the time where it's most of your lunch breaks. It's at 12 p.m. Central, which is 1 p.m. Eastern. And it's a power hour of teaching for Christian women coaches who know that they need to do something differently to have a regular pipeline of clients coming through. How many of my coaches know that if you don't have a consistent pipeline, and even if you have a consistent pipeline, if you're not charging your worth or value, then it's going to be very difficult for you to have a sustainable coaching business. Well, we're going to talk about how to position your offer, how to reach the people who are your assignment. We're going to show you how to really get past some of these limiting beliefs that got you circling. During this challenge, I'm going to be giving you the game. So again, it's for any Christian coach out there you're either getting started or you're ready to next level. We're covering not only foundational principles, but I am going to show you how some of you all, if you want to be able to charge at a high ticket level, you want to be at this challenge. And even if you work during the day, it's recorded. Okay, so there's no reason why you should not be at this event. Okay, so I put a link in the comments for you to secure your spot. Now we have 2 ticket realms. We have general admission and VIP. VIP is going to allow for us to spend more time together. We're going to have a private session for VIP, some laser coaching. You're going to be in the room with me. General admission, you get to still see all of the general admission session, which is that power hour that I was telling you about. But either way, you want to figure out how you can be a part of this, because only if you're serious about your coaching business. This is not for people who are doing this as a hobby. But if you're serious about your coaching business and you're at a place where you're tired of continuing to coach for free, you're tired of undercharging, you're tired of you have an amazing curriculum or program, you're trying to get this group coaching program off the ground, but you don't have people coming through the door, it would be a shame for you not to be here with me on September 14th for this challenge, point blank. And there's no excuse because of the fact that replays will be available outside of you just not investing in yourself to get the support that many of you coaches have been praying for. Okay, so definitely check out the challenge website for more information. The link is there in the comments. And then the other thing that I wanted to let you know about, this is like a precursor for that. How many of you all were actually with me this past Thursday? And I saw 6-7 of you all who were with me this past Thursday. Wasn't this past Thursday absolutely amazing? Last Thursday was a precursor to what this challenge is going to be about. And with that, Miss Speak for Alicia, you said you can't seem to get through. Let me know what you mean by that in terms of the link. If you're having issues with the link, let us know. We're going to follow up with you. But how many of you all were present for this past Thursday's live webinar and you got tremendous value out of it? If you were there, let me know in the comments. All right. Now, this webinar that I did this past Thursday, I'm going to do it one more time live. Yes, Reverend Carmen says, yes, it was amazing. It was so good to see you, Reverend Carmen. And who else was there? I'm going to do this one more time for you. And if you weren't there, you want to be here because it's going to be a precursor to this challenge. I'm laying down some foundational teaching that I taught at the challenge. Okay. So the September 3rd event, I'm going to copy and paste that. It's okay that you missed it, Marvin, because we're going to do it again. You can actually save your spot for free for the September 3rd event. That is a precursor for the challenge. Okay. I put the link in the chat. Okay. So we got 2 main events coming up for my coaches. September 3rd is a free event. It's kind of getting you ready. It's getting you ready for the challenge. And even if you can't attend the September 3rd event live, still register for it so that you can get the replay. Thank you, Courtney. Yes, it was amazing. Okay, so still register for it if you're a coach so that you can get the replay for it. All right. And then as a follow-up, you want to be able to register for this challenge. I put the information in the chat. Dr. Michelle, I saw you in the room, Dr. Michelle. Dr. Michelle, are you going to be at this challenge, sister? You know we have been trying to connect on a deeper level for the longest time, and I made this challenge literally, Dr. Michelle, with you in mind, based on some of the conversations that we've had. So if you have not already saved your spot for this challenge, you want to do so, because we are starting to get some things prepared. I want you all to be able to give me some feedback. I'm going to be designing some things off of you, and we're going to get to work on September 14th through the 17th. Yes. So Dr. Michelle, you said you was there. Are you going to be here? My question is, are you going to be here with us on September 14th through the 17th for the challenge? That's what I want to know. Okay, Leslie. Yes, I have. Leslie, are you going to be here? You're going to be here with us on September 14th through the 17th. Who else is going to be a part of the Diamond Coach Challenge, where we are going to help you to build out this coaching business that God has given you? No more playing small, no more undercharging, no more like struggling to get the people who are your assignment through the door. This challenge is the answer for that. So once again, I'm going to put this in the comments. Save your spot. Marvin would like to be there. Okay, good. Visit the link and secure your ticket today, and share this with your friends who are coaches. Because here's the thing. Come on, Reverend Carmen. Come on, Reverend Carmen. She says she's in. Come on, Reverend Carmen. Who else is in? Yes, Dr. Arlene. Yes, Dr. Arlene is in. Who else is going to join this challenge? Because sister, I promise you, I am absolutely going to give it my all. I am on mission to make sure that any woman who is called to be a coach, who is a woman of God, who is stepping out on faith, is able to build a coaching business that's sustainable. But in order for you to do that, you have to understand your value. We have to deal with your limiting beliefs. We have to help you to package your offer in a way that resonates with people. And so you have to register. Do not wait to register. People who are successful, they take decisive action. When they know something is meant for them, they take decisive action. They don't wait. They don't kick the can down the road. They say, no matter what, I'm in. So I'm going to be looking to see who is in. Who's going to say, right now, I'm going to get my ticket. I'm going to secure my spot. Let's go. That's right. Let's go. I am excited to spend time with you over this challenge. And so do not wait. Let your girlfriends know, because it's better to do it with someone who you can stay accountable with. It's better to do something in community with people. Jacqueline, I am so excited. I'm so excited, Jacqueline. I'm so excited for you. And I'm excited for anyone else who's going to be a part of this experience, so that we can grow your coaching business together to help you to reach those people who are your assignment. So, sisters, many of you will be spending time together during the month of September. Marvin said it best. Procrastination is not the key, because it only brings dismay. That's right. That is right. And there is someone out here who is waiting to know us. We just got to make sure that you have the program in place to make that offer to them. So for many of you, I look forward to spending time with you soon at our upcoming event. I'm going to make sure that for those who are watching the replay, the links are in the top of the comments for you, so you can secure your spot for September 3rd if you missed last Thursday, and you could be a part of this upcoming challenge. If you haven't already, be sure to subscribe and share this episode with one of your friends who you know should be a part of this experience with us. And I can't wait to see you all in the upcoming weeks as we build the vision that God has put on your heart. All right. Thank you. Thank you, sisters. Thank you for being here with us this evening. And I'll see you soon.